Got y'all tuning in for a show today. We'll put one on for you.
Yes, sir. 3. I love this shit. So let me talk my shit. Okay, I'm good. Yeah. I know you see the clock, cause getting money is what we on. Ride and drop top in the winter with the heat on. Bad yellow bitch, keep my passenger seat warm. Leg hanging out the window, you ain't got these on. Bitch holla, it is Louise. They cannot see me, they are like Stevie. I am bearing a ton like Leafy. I circle your house like BB. Colder than the Hebe, GBs. Never give freebies. 75,000 for these bees. Shit, I can get 100,000 up in these jeans. Big stacks, my pockets on creatine. Young money dipset, nigga, we a team. If you don't like a nigga, fuck you, no Vaseline. I peel off in a Lamborghini like a tangerine. Got the engine straight shaking like a tambourine. Like a bitch with some lips like Angeline. Not Jolie, holy God flow. I go where I know other guy go. Fuck you, ho, I'm so 5-0. 4 I hope every snitch dies slow. Hip hop, that's my hoe, I know. She know I like it when don't want no dry hoe. Alright, bitch, I am D-boy, no decoy. And I will straight up destroy any boy. Our man and I prefer money, them bitches are just reefer. We are your money, bitch, and I am the leader. He are currency, Mac, May, and D-Raw. And I just signed a chick named Nicki Minaj. Hear me? I'm still spitting like a retard. And these niggas soft, they should be rapping in leotards. Nigga, we in charge, baby, put me in charge. And I'm just murdering niggas, free of charge. You dig? Just holler back, I see you, Sarge. I'm so motherfucking high, I can eat a star. Yeah, let me upgrade you. You may not be a model, but I can front page you. You know I'm nasty, excuse my behavior. Let me just taste you, we can fuck later. Sitting in the coupe, looking like a racer. Top peel back like the skin of a potato. Seat way back, listening to Anita Baker. I am by myself, smoking weed by the acre. I let go gator, ain't nobody greater. Leave you with some bullet holes the size of craters. You ain't heard the latest, we the at the greatest. Battle anybody, nigga, fuck over your favorite. It's a new game.
What up, though? What up, though? It's your boy, Poppy. I'm honored to say that I am here, joined by Pro Bowl NFL safety and host of DB Room, Glover Quin. It's crazy. I'm even. I'm happy to have you here, but do you mind telling us a little bit about the DB Room?
Yeah, man, it's a cool little thing, man. It's, I actually, what's funny is I need to actually come up with a name for the show because the channel is basically called the DB Room, and it just kind of started because, it's just kind of like, it's a lot of stuff that's on the channel. It's football content, it's stories, it's breakdowns, it's lives. It's a lot of stuff on the channel, and that's kind of how it is in the DB Room. It's a lot of different personalities, a lot of different things that go on. And, in our rooms, the things that we try to do, we try to focus on not only being great football players, but being great humans as well. And so that was kind of the whole thought process behind my channel. It's like, okay, we're here to learn football. We're here to increase our knowledge. And, if you want to do that, but we're also here to try to become better people, better humans as well. So that's why I do the interviews where I'm talking to guys and trying to learn more about guys, be inspired by people's story, learn more, be motivated. And so that's kind of where it all came from. So I actually need to come up with a name for the show because I got a couple different show ideals that I'm working on that I like, that I want to do. And so people, if you're watching ESPN and, you tune in for Sports Center, you know what you're getting. If you tune in for E60, you know what you're getting. If you tune in for a game, you know what you're getting. So,
Okay,
if you tuning in for an interview of somebody's story and just want that part of it, well then, when that show is on, then that's what you're watching. But if I'm doing something else, that's the show that you're watching. So it's a lot going on, man. I like having fun with it. It's kind of fun, man. I kind of turn my whole office into a studio. And it's the DB room, man. I like it. I sit here and I do everything right here from this chair, man. Computers all over the place. So it's fun, man.
Yeah, man, I think it's super dope. That's one thing, as someone who started their own kind of show, or in my basement, you know what I'm saying, that I appreciate from you is, man, you a lot more gangster with it, man. You go live when you have your guests on, man. Man, that's tell me something about that. Like, is that stuff you knew how to do beforehand? Is that stuff like you fell into after retirement?
Man, you know what? I kind of got into it all after retirement, man. I when I was playing, I would dabble into some videography stuff because my kids play sports. And so I would always record their games. I would have cameras set up all over the place because playing football, we watch film for a living. So it's fun for me to watch the film and see things that I can help them with, but also, have memories, make little highlight videos and things like that. So then once I retired, it was actually before I retired. Well, before I announced my retirement, I knew I was retired. But I wanted to upgrade my camera because I was only really just recording with a GoPro camera, right? And so I was like, I want to get like a good camera. And I was seeing people with cameras. I was like, man, those nice looking cameras. So I reached out to a buddy of mine that does videography. I was like, bro, I need to get like a dope camera. And he was like, bro, go and get this, Sony A7. So I was like, all right, cool. I looked, I was like, wow, these cameras are kind of expensive, you know what I'm saying? But I was like, you know what? This is kind of what I want to do. So I went and got the camera. And so then it went to, all right, if I'm going to be doing these videos and recording, like I want to be good at it. Like I want to know what I'm doing. I want to know how to use the camera. I want to know how to edit. I want to know exactly what I'm trying to do. And so then I started looking into like film school, videography classes. And, that led me to this whole world of online courses. I was signed up to take this course at a school, and I end up getting my money back, withdrawn from that because I found so much information out there on the web that I could just do at my own pace. And that's kind of what I was looking for. So I did that, man. I just kind of dove into it. And next thing you know, I found myself spending so much time on YouTube, man. So much time on YouTube looking at different tutorials of how to do different things, how to do different, edits, different transitions, just all types of stuff because I was trying to learn so much, you know what I'm saying? And so I kind of fell in love with YouTube, man. I go to YouTube for everything now. I'm talking, if I need to figure out, like if I buy something and I don't want to read the directions of how to put it together, I just literally go to YouTube because somebody has a tutorial on there of exactly how I need to put it together, exactly how it works. And that's just kind of how I do it. And so it kind of prompted me and was like, you know what, YouTube is a place where people go to learn stuff. They want information. They want to know how to do something, or they go there for motivation. They're looking for some kind of things of that nature. So I started telling stories on my IG channel during the quarantine, and it was cool and everything. But I kind of started to feel like, you know what, people don't really go on Instagram to look at like 10-minute stories or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You go on Instagram, it's quick. Like you scrolling through, you see some, okay, boom. People may even like it and not even look at it. You know what I'm saying? They might see it, oh, GQ posted something, like it, and scroll and never even look at the video, right? And so I was like, you know what? I think I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start my YouTube channel. I'm just gonna drive everything to YouTube because I feel like, if people subscribe to your stuff on YouTube, like they want to see what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? You have a ton of followers and stuff on IG, and those people probably don't care nothing about what you're doing. They just follow you just to follow you. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just start putting it all on YouTube. And if people really want to rock with it and want to know what I'm talking about, they'll come to YouTube and they'll check it out. And so then I got to thinking, I was like, you know what? I'm going to call it the DB room, man, because I didn't want to pigeonhole myself into just one segment. I'm like, in the DB room, we do all types of stuff, man. We watch film, we break down film, we have real man-to-man conversations because, like I say, we're trying to make each other better in all facets of our life. You know what I'm saying? We have guest speakers come in and just talk to guys, like all types of stuff. And then everybody always want to hang out with the DBs. Everybody loves the DBs. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna call it the DB room, and I want to encompass all that. I want to have teach football, play breakdowns, have guest speakers come in, have guests come in and talk, and let's just learn and grow together as people, man. And so it's dope, man. And so I wanted to do the live because
It's interactive.
it's just fun, man.
Yeah.
It's fun, and I felt like it would show a human side of us as people, because when you go live, you have mistakes. You know, you have things that, you know, I could edit if I was, you know, just putting a video out. I could edit out all the mistakes and make it look like it wasn't natural. But when you're on live, if you say something wrong, you said something wrong, and it's out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, if your stuff don't work, it don't work. You know, so I had to, like, I didn't know a lot about it because I'm not a gamer, so I didn't do a lot of live streaming. And so when I first got into it, I had a lot of hiccups, man. You know, not setting stuff up right, not putting the right settings in. Computer, I was working with a Mac that, you know, it wasn't even built for freaking live streaming. I wasn't even Ethernet hooked in. I was just going off Wi-Fi, and that was, you know, slowing stuff up. It was all types of things that I had to like figure out and learn and be like, okay, if this is really what I want to do, I got to invest in it. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I did. I started putting more time, more resources into it, because I wanted mine to look like, I wanted it to look different than just a generic live. I wanted it to look like, you know, like if you was looking at a TV show and it looks kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? That's how I wanted it to look. So that's kind of what I went for, man. But it's fun, man. It's a rush, bro. When you have a live show, it's a rush, man.
Yeah.
It's definitely an adrenaline rush.
Especially, I'm way appreciative of it too, because I've tried it, you know, and like I know how much goes into it. You know, I don't know if I was trying when I did OBS and stuff like that, or is that what you use?
No. I use a different software, because a lot of people have told me about OBS, and I saw OBS because when I got started, I was obviously trying to see what was the best streaming, whatever. And I didn't, you know, like I said, I didn't know. So I'm getting all these lists of things. And I saw OBS, and I saw I use this software called Wirecast. And you know, Wirecast it's a paid software. And that was just kind of one of the things I wanted. I was like, okay, a lot of people use OBS. I see it all the time. A lot of people just like, bro, use OBS, it's free. And I just kind of felt like, okay, if it's free and a lot of people use it, that's dope. I get it. But I want my stuff to look different. And if I want it to look different, then I got to use something different. And a lot of times, if you have to pay for something, you probably get maybe a little more features that maybe you don't get on OBS. And I don't know a lot about OBS or those platforms, but I was just like, you know what? If I got to pay for it, it may look different, may be different, and I want my show to look different. I don't want people to see it and be like, oh, okay, it's just another live over there. I want it to look different. So I work with this this software called Wirecast, and you know, it's pretty dope, man. I like it. I mean, it takes it's a major software, so it takes some major you know, resources to run it effectively. Good internet, good computer. So I had to get it. I got a PC built to live stream and like all that stuff, man. But it's fun, man. I like it. It's what I do in my free time, man.
Yeah, super dope. I even peep, because I know you do like the videos while you're going live too. You know, you'll be talking to someone and then you switch over to like, you know, a highlight of theirs and stuff like that. It's like, man, it's dope. I like I said, I appreciate it from a whole different avenue, because I, you know what I'm saying, I try. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up, man.
And that's the fun. That's the fun part, because I'm putting together a whole show, right? I'm putting together a whole show. So, you know, if I just hopped on the live, it's just me and them, and we're just talking, right? But when I'm putting together a show to keep people's attention for, you know, an hour, 45 minutes, you know, people like visuals. They like to see different things, you know. So I like to have different shots to go along with what we're talking about. So to do that, that means I have to think about, okay, this is who I'm interviewing. Let me take a look at their life. Let me take a look at their story. Let me see things that I feel like we should talk about, things that I want to know, things I think the fans will want to know, and prepare those questions. But also let me get some media to go along with it. You know what I'm saying? So on one of the shows when I had Calvin Johnson on, and I wanted to talk about, him being on Dancing with the Stars. So I was like, you know what? I think it'd be dope if I had like a clip of him dancing on Dancing with the Stars. And like, that was probably one of the coolest moments because you get to see Calvin Johnson watching himself dance and he's laughing and it's hilarious. And that was a cool moment to me. But then having just like different things, man. I like to do the highlight videos of the guys.
Yeah.
So I have this guy that, reached out to me and asked to do them. And I was like, cool, man. So I worked out a little deal with him. He do all my highlight videos. So that saved me a lot of time every week.
Man,
I just hit him up like, hey, this who we got. So he kind of lucky because he get to know who the guests are like before everybody know. But it works out, man. And so it's a lot that go into it. I prepare all the shots. I had to have everything ready because when you're doing the show, you got to hit the button. You got to show this. You got to know when this is coming. And, it's – dude, I tell you, it's a lot, bro. You trying to do the interview, you trying to produce the show, it's a lot, man. But it's fun, like I say.
Yeah, because I was even, watching the clips. I'm like, damn, is he like editing the clips too? Because I know I'll do like an edit for like 5 minutes just for like a teaser. You know what I'm saying? It'll take me 20 minutes to make it.
Right.
Man, Glover's going like he's going in.
I do. So yeah, I do everything, bro. Everything that you see on the DB room, I do it. Other than the intro highlight videos for the players. So every promotional thing, every clip of the show, everything except for the actual highlight video that's showed. And the intro highlight. If there's another highlight video that's put together for the show, I done that one. Everything except for the intro highlight video, I do it. So yeah, when the show is over with, I'm immediately thinking about, okay, what are some good clips to put out? Just like little segments. Boom, I go, I try to get those, get it how I want it. Boom, how that ready. I try to get like 2 or 3 of them done. Yeah, man, it's a lot, man. But I get on a good little schedule. My family is cool, man. My wife is cool, and it works out, man.
What is the biggest, like, I guess, blunder, goof up that you just laugh at, thinking back at with the live streams?
I mean, I just think about, like, I go back and look at some of the first show I did. I go back and look at the first one I did with a guest when I had Slay on. And I just be like, man, I owe Slay an apology, man. I feel like I got to have Slay back on to give him a show that's, like, worthy of who he is. Him, man, I had Jeff Okuda on early. A lot of those guys that came on early, man, it was just like, wow, man. I look back at it and it's like, bro, I got to get those guys back on because the show just looks so different now. And like I say, the computer, I don't know, the computer that I was using and the way I was streaming, like I say, sometimes we'll come and we'll have audio and we're sitting there talking and it'd take 25, 30 minutes. And finally we get like the audio going and I was just like, wow, man, it's been, and one time I was trying to stream to YouTube and Facebook at the same time. And next thing you know, I'm streaming to Facebook and never hit the stream to YouTube. So YouTube didn't stream. So then I had to post it on YouTube. Like, it's a lot of stuff, bro. It's a lot of stuff, man. But like I say, I've been doing it for a while now. So I've gotten a lot comfortable, a lot better at it, understanding how to work it and how to do different things, man. But it takes some time, man.
It's dope, man. It's dope because I see you working through the progressions and it's good to see because I know with athletes you guys take things to the next level as far as like competing in the cerebral part of studying and stuff like that. So I see you graduating too as far as like the skill sets and everything too. Like I said, I was waiting for you to drop some bars in the beginning of that one live.
You know what, man? I get that all the time, bro. You know what, man? I found that beat, man, and I love the beat, man. It's a so cool chill vibe to me, man. It's kind of chill, just kind of kind of how I be feeling, man. I be wanting the guys to feel it. Just kick back. Let's relax, man. Let's chill. That's why I moved the show back. 'Cause I used to do the show a little earlier. I moved it back. So I'm like, you know what, man? 8:00 Central. That's 9:00 Eastern time. Those guys not sleep at 9:00, man. It's probably perfect time for them. They don't have time to have dinner. They don't put the kids to bed. They probably sitting up, scrolling on their phones anyway at 9:00. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna move the show back to 8:00. We're gonna get some wine. We're gonna get the vibe. We're gonna kick it. We're gonna chill, and that's what we do.
It's a vibe
man.
for sure. It's a vibe for sure.
Yeah. So it's dope, man.
Yeah, I think it's dope for you to do that too. I guess to give people the platform to highlight you guys, not just as athletes, but as humans. And I know you guys all the time. I see athletes donating money and stuff like that. Is there like I guess from when you were younger to becoming a professional, getting all that money, is there like what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not conscious, but I guess, do you feel a stronger feeling to do that kind of stuff, like give back and like share information or like donate when you're at that level? Like,
yeah. I definitely, when I was playing and when you are playing, a lot of people give back through different ways. You know what I'm saying? They donate money, they start foundations, they do charity, they do a lot of different things. And then when they're done playing, a lot of times you don't really hear from them as much because they're not in the public eye as much. Doesn't mean they're not still doing things, but a lot of time they don't get talked about as much. You don't have as many appearances as you do when you are with a team and you're doing a bunch of stuff in the community. And so, but you get asked all the time, hey man, how can I be better at this? Like, what can I do to do this or this and that? And I feel like this right here is a great way. So many people ask me about being a coach. Do you want to coach? Do you want to do this? And I'm just like, you know what? I like sitting here and coaching because, I can potentially affect so many different people from this platform. If I was coaching, I'm going to be subjected to just that group of kids, whether it's a high school group or a college group or a pro, whatever. I'm just going to have that group of kids. And I'm like, now I can reach so many different people. And I'm talking about any age. I got 10-year-old, I got 8-year-old. I can reach those kids. I can reach high school kids. I can reach college kids. Even pro guys, just they may want to know a little bit about how you done something or how you prepared, all those different things. And I just kind of felt like, what, that's the way. And even for the fans, people that just want to learn more about the game, just so that when they're watching the game, they understand more of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I get it. A lot of people watch football and they watch the game and it's exciting, but it's a lot more exciting when you know what they're doing, what the commentators are talking about, why things are happening. And even now, how things happen, right? Well, it looked like they only have one safety in the middle. So they was either in cover 1 or cover 3. And it looks like they're playing zone because this corner is not playing man to man. So they're probably in cover 3. So that seam route is hard to cover in cover 3. So I can understand. I can see how the quarterback looked at the middle safety off and threw it to the backside seam. I get it now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Most people wouldn't understand that or may not even know stuff like that. So I just kind of felt like it was cool for me just to be able to talk, teach game, what's going on, why things happen. But then we talk about all types of stuff. Let's talk about, when it's time for, like right now, it's training camp.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about things that happen in training camp, ways to get better in training camp. I'm working on something right now with one of my guys, and he's been in it for 15 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, how's training camp different now, 15 years later? From a physical standpoint, even as a mental standpoint.
Yeah.
How do you take care of yourself in year 15? You know what I'm saying? How do you keep getting up to go do it in year 15? You know what I'm saying? So just different things like that I feel like it'd be cool for fans. But then obviously you got the season coming up, and then you have, obviously, you get into the off season, and then you got the combine and the training and all those different experiences, and everybody's experience is different, but we can all learn from it. Like, this is what I learned. And then for the kids that are getting ready to go through those situations, they could tap in and be like, okay, well, heck, man, this is what, like when I had the guys on, I'm doing live, I always ask them about like their college decision, their college choices, because I feel like a lot of kids need to hear that, right? You got kids that are in high school and they need to understand, how do I decide what college to go to? Do I get caught up in the big name school? Do I go somewhere that really wants me? Do I go somewhere where I feel comfortable? Do I go somewhere where I feel like I can play? Like there's so many different things, and I feel like hearing other people's hearing other people's stories. Like I had Kareem Jackson on, and he talked about, he went to military school. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people may not think
I didn't know that.
about going out of high school, go to military school for a year, like a little prep school, right? Some people go JUCO. You don't have to always, I went JUCO. You don't have to always leave high school and feel like you got to go to Michigan State or Michigan or Ohio State or LSU. I mean, go somewhere where you can play. I went to the University of New Mexico. You know what I'm saying? I was able to start for 3 years, get a lot of film out there, play against a bunch of good teams and people, and show that, hey, I can play. No, I didn't get drafted in the first round, but I got drafted in the 4th round, and I went on and played for 10 years. So go where you can play, go and where you can, you have an opportunity. But I feel like people need to hear that. And then also just hearing it from the standpoint of, when you have these guys who are major superstars in high school, how do you deal with that? You walk around campus as a sophomore and you're already labeled as the number 1 player in the nation. How do you deal with that? You know what I'm saying? How do you still focus on getting your grades, focus on other things that matter, friendships, relationships, all those things, and not get so caught up in, hey man, I'm the number 1 player in the nation already, But then, just others, like I had a segment with Tyrann Mathieu, man. I thought it was so powerful because
that one was dope.
He talked about, like, he was like, bro, I never dreamed of being a honey badger. You know what I'm saying? So like when you think about stuff like that, you got this guy who's 18, 19 years old and he loves football. He's great at it. And the world just starts calling him the honey badger. The world gives him his name and they're saying the honey badger takes what he wants. The honey badger does what he wants. The honey badger is great. And they're talking about how he is as a football player.
Yeah.
But when he go home at night and he look in the mirror, he see Tyrann Mathieu, the kid that my dad's in jail. My mom hasn't been there for me. My grandparents are gone. Like, he said it on the show. He's like, bro, I had a bunch of voids in my life. You know what I'm saying? That's what he see. But then when he step outside, the world is like, man, that's Tyrann. Man, that's the honey badger, man. That's the honey badger. Like, how do you deal with that, man? Like, just that, so those are the type of things that I try to put out there, man, because I feel like that's what's important, man. That's what's going to help the next generation. And Tyrann was super cool about it, man. He was like, bro, I'm an open book, ask me whatever. And so he understands his story and he was willing to talk about it, man. So I thought that was a dope segment, man. So I don't know, man. It's just cool stuff.
One thing that stuck in my head too, watching that one was when he said, because his story is just insane. You know what I'm saying? Just when he had the little mishap, you know what I'm saying? But to hear him say, because he still remembers to this day when people were telling him to get a regular job, you know what I'm saying? It's like, look at him now. It's just dope to hear their story and then the mindset that they kept throughout that process too, which you provide us. It was just dope.
Yeah, man. And like I say, I like for people to see that because like I said, I feel like that humanizes us. So many times they see us on TV and they just feel like we aren't human, like we're just great football players. That no, we like you said, there were people telling him like, hey man, you should go and get a regular job. Like,
just crazy to think about.
You know what I'm saying? Like people telling me, like,
bro,
so that be the type of stuff, bro, that people don't see from us or hear a lot from us. And a lot of that stuff go into how we act and how we are today when it comes to dealing with fans, when it comes to dealing with the media, when it comes to a lot of those things, as players, when you go through all these different situations, you remember all that stuff, man. You remember how you felt. You remember the people that said this about you, and it puts that edge where you just like, you don't care about certain people or you don't care about certain things because they only love me when I'm doing well. Because when I wasn't doing well,
crazy too.
It was telling me to go get a regular job. You know what I'm saying? Like they gave up on me. So I don't know, man. I feel like we need to put more stories like that out there. And, I get it. ESPN, NFL Network, they can't, highlight every player like that. They got a lot of things they got to do. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's cool for us to use our platform and put that stuff out there, man. And if people want to watch it, they'll watch it. If they don't, they won't. And I say it all the time on my show, is like, hey man, this story might not be for you. It may not be, but you may know this kid that is a good football player that got a chance, or a good basketball player that got a chance, and you're like, hey bro, you need to hear this right here. Like, just listen to it, bro. It's just, hey, it wasn't for me. I'm not going through that right there, but you should listen to it. But also, I think about it from the parent standpoint, right? How do you handle it as a parent when you got a superstar kid?
That's a good
How
point.
do you handle it as a parent?
I didn't even think about that.
Right? So as a parent, if you're looking at that stuff and you're watching the show, you should put yourself in that situation to see, okay, this is how my son could be feeling when he's dealing with all of the pressures of being great, of trying to win. This is how maybe I can help my son. But that would call for the parents to remove themselves from the fan role and still stay as a parent, because whether you believe it or not, a lot of times parents turn into fans.
I believe it.
Right? They're your parents, but they're also fans, right? And so they're just on your hype train as well. Whereas the kids need you to be their parents, because their whole world is changing. Their whole world is going through this whole, different realm. And the only thing that's normal to them at this moment is mom and dad, or, I still need you guys to be my family, my mom, my dad. If I'm screwing up, I still need you to tell me. I don't need you to just be like, oh, it's all cool because I'm this superstar. No, you need to tell me that I'm screwing up. You need to still be my parent. And if you can still just be your parent, then you can see, hey man, my son he's feeling the pressure, or my son is struggling with this and this and that. This is how I can help him. This is how I can connect with him and make him feel like, hey man, you are loved. You are great. You are this. You don't have to feel the pressure of the world. They love you. I tell my kids all the time, hey man, just go play. These people are here to watch you play. They're here to watch you, bro. Like, don't feel the pressure to have to be anything other than who you are, because that's why they come, just to watch you, man. Like, they're in awe at what you do. So don't put that extra pressure that you have to have this, or you have to do this, or you have to be like this, or whatever. So I feel like, parents should hear some of this stuff too, man, because, the social media world we live in, a lot of guys get anointed real quick, as superstars and this and this and that. And, parents need to be there to help these kids, because they're young and they're still learning.
Yeah. And I'll reiterate it one more time too. It's so dope that you humanizing people, or people at that level too, because it's also like really motivating. Like you said, you were in JUCO, so it's like, somebody in JUCO now, I'd be like, man, it's it. I'm not at Michigan State. You know what I'm saying? So it's dope to hear, what kept them on the track. What was your mindset when you were going through JUCO or on your way to?
Well, see, when I went to JUCO, my mindset was, you know what? I'm only at JUCO because I didn't get recruited how I wanted to out of high school, because I went to a smaller high school, and that's just kind of how it was. That was my mentality. I had grades. I was good in that aspect. I was a qualifier. I could have went, wherever grade wise, but I didn't get recruited like that. So my mentality was, you know what? I'm gonna go to JUCO and I'm gonna show that I can play, and I'm gonna come in for a year and I'm gonna be gone. Right? Come in for a semester. And just so happened, my first year at JUCO, I broke my arm. So I only played 2 games my first year at JUCO. And so now it's like, oh, heck. Well, I was also in the mindset of, if I'm going to be here, then I want to graduate. Even if it's just an associate's degree, I'm going to graduate. So my first year at JUCO, during football season, I took 20 hours. Came back the second semester. Like I said, I had broke my arm. during that football season because, we started in the fall. I took 20 hours, came back to spring. I took another 20 hours as I was still recovering from my arm. And then came back to summer. I took 6 hours. And then that next fall, I took 18 hours. So I was able to graduate JUCO in 3 semesters. But the second season of football, my arm is back. Now I'm like, all right, heck, man, I got 1 year now to show that I can play because I only had 2 games in, my first year. And next thing you know, Hurricane Katrina comes. This 2005 Hurricane Katrina happens. And so I think we only had maybe 8 games to start with. And I think 2 of those got canceled. And so we only had 6 games my second year or something like that. Or we had 10 games and 2 guys, something like that. But I had a limited amount of games. And my whole goal was, I just want to show that I can play at the next level and have an opportunity to go somewhere. And I knew like if I just got opportunities that I could show that I could play. And that's just all I was looking for, just an opportunity to show that I can play. And I didn't want to have anything maybe hinder me. So I didn't want it to be a grade situation that kept me from this opportunity because I didn't have the right grades. So I wanted to take care of all that stuff from my end. And then hopefully I got an opportunity. And that's kind of what happened. New Mexico had graduated. They had 3 senior corners. And so after their season in 2005, they were losing their 3 guys. And for New Mexico, the way they kind of compete is they had to recruit JUCO a lot because, at that time in the Mountain West, we had TCU, we had BYU, we had Utah. We had, it was some pretty good teams in that conference. And so you're kind of in the middle of Arizona, California, Texas. So you're not getting any of the top recruits, basically. You're getting kind of the third tier guys from those states. And so for them to compete in that conference, they had to recruit Mississippi JUCO and Kansas JUCO because those are the 2 biggest JUCO leagues there is. And so they recruited those a lot because they needed guys that could come in and play. You know what I'm saying? They didn't need guys that need to sit around for 2 years. They need somebody that can come in and play. And so they recruited Mississippi JUCO. I was a corner, and I was eligible to, like I said, I was graduating. So I was eligible to transfer and be out there to go through the spring. And so when you can do that, it just kind of gives you more options because now they know, hey, he get to come in January. He can go through our whole offseason program with us. He can, be on the college program, learn our system, go through spring ball with us. And by the time the season come, he's 5-6 months ahead as opposed to those guys who have to come in the summer. And now they just get, quick summer stuff and they're right into the season. So that was just kind of my mentality, man. Go to JUCO, show that I can play, try to get the opportunity to go somewhere. And I wanted to go D1. I told my mom I didn't care where I had to go. If I got an opportunity to go D1, I was going. And, I had one D1 offer coming out of JUCO, and it was University of New Mexico. And that's where I went, 16, 17 hours away from the crib.
At that stage, was the NFL, and obviously it's like that's something everybody wants, but was it something, I guess, realistic to you? Like, was there any doubt, I guess, in making it there, or are you just doing one step at a time? Like, you just want, let me get Division I first.
I was doing one step at a time because I didn't really know, I didn't really know. Like, to me, I was just playing, man. But so many of my teammates would always tell me, even when I was in like JUCO, like when I was in high school, my teammates would always tell me that I was a college player. When I was in JUCO, my teammates would always be like, bro, you're a D1 corner, bro. And I would just be like, okay, because I didn't really know, because it was weird to me, because when I'm watching these games on TV, I'm like, man, those guys out there can play, bro. Like, those guys are good. But then when I get out there with those same guys, I was like, oh, well, I guess I can play just like these guys. You know what I'm saying? So it was just kind of one step at a time for me, man. I was really just trying to go as far as I could go. I didn't really start feeling like the NFL was really, really, really like a good shot after my junior year in New Mexico, and we had our junior day, and, I ran well, I tested well. Team started like talking to me, as a junior, and I was just like, oh, okay. I started seeing my name on like some draft boards. I'm like, really?
Oh man.
Oh, snap. Okay. And so from there, I was just like, wow. So, I was always a worker. I put in the work, and I had a great summer going into my senior year. I came back my senior year, led the Mountain West in picks, made all conference, all that good stuff, won a bunch of awards. And then we played against the big schools. We played against Arizona. I balled out. I actually won Player of the Week against Arizona. We played against Texas A&M. I balled out. We played against the bigger schools, and that's the thing when you go to a smaller school. When you do play against the big schools, you got the ball. Even though you may lose, you got to play well because that's what the scouts. Those are the games they're going to go and look at. They're not going to go and watch, to see if you can play. They're not going to go and watch you play against a smaller school. They're going to look at their schedule and say, oh, those guys played against Michigan. Okay, let's go see how he played against Michigan. Because then they can say, okay, well, he's playing against quality guys, and this is how he performed. So that's what they're looking for. So for me, I played well against the bigger schools, man, and it just kind of happened, bro. It happened so fast, man. Like I said, I was really just trying to go as far as I can go, get my education, and play. I always had a dream, but like I say, sometimes where I'm from, the NFL seems so far away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think about my kids growing up here in Houston and the way they live. It's like, man, they probably feel like it's so easy to make it to the league, man, because they see all these players, they got access to all these guys, they hanging out with all these guys, they probably just like, oh man, I just play well. But where I'm from, it seems so far away. You know what I'm saying? It seems so far away, and so for me, like I said, it didn't really start to seem like a possibility until after my junior year. I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe. So I just kind of took it from there.
That's dope to hear. That's why I like doing these too, because you hear, again, I mean, you just kept your head down working. You know what I'm saying? There was no, I guess, maybe there was doubt or anything like that, but you was busting your ass, and then it was like, bam, fell on your lap. Once you went professional, was there more pressure, I guess, as playing football? Like, did it ever feel like a job, or is it still just as fun as it's always been playing football at that professional level? Or just
Well, I always looked at it as a job. That was my thing, and I felt like that's what, in my opinion, I feel like that's what you should look at it as. Football is fun. Don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, it's your job. That is what you do. And so I wanted to treat it as such. I even would tell my wife, like, I didn't like it when, she would say, hey, do you have practice tomorrow? No, I don't have practice. I got to go to work tomorrow. That was my mentality. Yes, I have to go to work. Because I didn't want it to seem just like, oh, you just have practice, and a lot of people may feel that way. And I was more so of like, no, this is work. This is a job. And I want to be good at it. So I'm going to do everything that I have to do. I'm going to take care of my body. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to train. I'm going to watch film. I'm going to watch everything. When I say everything, I watched everything. I watched the combine. I watched free agency. I watched, if there was a game on TV, I watched it, because I just felt like I could always learn. I wanted to see who was coming into the league from the combines. I wanted to see who was doing things at the All-Star games. Like, I just wanted to know everything about as much as I could. And I felt like that was my job. And, towards the end of my career, I will say that it became not as fun. Like, I was tired because I put so much into it that I was tired. I felt like, I was imprisoned by the game. It controlled my off seasons. It was hard because I wasn't just extremely talented and blessed as some of these guys. So like the work that I had to do just to stay halfway fit to play, I just felt like it was tough on me. And my mindset and the way I trained, being able to take vacations at certain times of the year, I was just like, no, I can't do that because I'm going to miss a whole week of training, and I didn't want to miss that. And so, like I said, I just felt in prison. I felt I felt constricted by the game. And once it got to that point, like I said, I only wanted to play 10 years anyway.
Which is
But
extremely dope too. Like,
yeah, I mean that's all I wanted to play. Even before I made it to the league, that was all I wanted to play was 10 years. And so my 10th year, I will say it was tough mentally, just like fighting through it, because I would sit on the sideline sometimes and just be like, man, what am I doing, man? This is not fun to me anymore. Like, there's so much more things that I want to do. There's so many more things that I can do in my life. I've given everything that I have to the game, and I really have nothing else to give. I was done. And so when the season was over with, I think it was probably like back even in November, I had told my wife, I was like I said, I already knew my 10 year was going, but I told my wife, I was like, man, I'm done, man. I'm like, man, I'm done. She was like, you sure? I was like, babe, I'm done. And she's like, well, don't make the decision, because we weren't having a great season anyway. She was like, don't make the decision, in the middle of the season, maybe emotional. I was like, nah, it's not emotional. Like, this is like, I only wanted to play 10. It would have taken a miracle for me to play 11. And that miracle wasn't happening. And so when I was like, man, yeah, I'm done. And like I said, I feel like if you can separate things mentally, I don't know if it's an emotional decision, in my opinion. I feel like it's a real decision in a real moment to me, because yes, this is November in the middle of a football season, and this is how I feel, right? If I go in the off season and now I don't have to play football and I start to be happy again, yeah, I may be, because I'm in a different space. But next year, come November again, I'm probably going to feel exactly how I feel right now.
yeah.
And I don't want to feel like this next year in November. I want to be feeling happy and doing whatever I want to do next year in November. So to me, it's like, these are real moments. This is what I'm feeling. And I'm making a decision based off of, these are my feelings and this is how it feels to me. Even if, things change. Yeah. Would it have been different if we were winning? I don't know.
Yeah.
But the way my body felt, the way like I felt tired mentally, I was just like, I'm done.
It's time. It's funny because it reminds me of like a situation, my friend recently going through a breakup. I'm like, look, man, if you had that thought, it's going to happen again. You know what I'm saying? And like, you could think about, you'll miss it. You know what I'm saying? You can miss good moments because those are good moments, but
right.
You got to keep in mind that you had that bad moment. And like you said, in November, that bad moment can happen again. So it's like,
yeah, you
got to remember, if the thought came up originally, it came from somewhere. There's a reason,
Right. And that's true, man. I truly believe that with everything in me. So yeah, man, that's kind of how it happened, bro. I was tired, man, but the pressure was there, man, to perform. I love the pressure to perform, and I just got tired of it. I got tired of it, and I was ready to do something different.
You gave us some good years, though, man. That's,
you know what, man? I felt like I owed that to Detroit, man. I told a story earlier on one of my on my channel, and it talked about my belief, and how I like to prove people right instead of proving people wrong, and that's just kind of been one of the things that kind of guided me throughout my whole journey, man. Just kind of like when somebody believes in you, man, to me, I would rather do everything I can to prove them right, bro, to prove that they made a good choice. Because if I do that, for one, the people that believed in me are going to be extremely happy. But then the ones that didn't believe in you, they're going to see it and they're going to be like, dang, man, we probably should have like picked him, or we probably should have gave him you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like so many times people get caught up in trying to prove the 30 people wrong that didn't believe in them, as opposed to just focus on that one, man, that one person that gave you a chance. Prove them right. Prove that they made the right decision. Because if you do that, you're gonna prove everybody else that didn't give you that chance wrong, man. And so, when free agency came out, and I've told this story before, I had no signs of, I mean, I had no thoughts of signing with the Detroit Lions. And, you know, I went back and forth with a couple guys on some social media, because I was telling guys, I'm like, at that time, you got to think 2013, Detroit wasn't like popping like that, you know. It was made
You brought the wave for real. You and Reggie.
when you think about looking at it from a national standpoint, from a football standpoint, you know, Jim Schwartz was there. It was all types of off the field issues, on the field, you know, seemed like no discipline. It was crazy. The city was going through his bankruptcy stuff. Like, it was all type. Like, there was nothing that was like, oh yeah, I want to go to Detroit if I'm not from there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think it came up because when Calvin was on my show, Calvin was saying how he hoped that Atlanta drafted him. And I'm sitting, and they were going in on Calvin. I'm sitting here like,
Oh yeah, you talking about after the show?
yeah, I'm sitting there like,
I'm like, bro, what?
Who is sitting there wishing in 2007 and wishing, or 2008, I guess it was, I was thinking it was 7, and wishing, hey, I hope the Detroit Lions draft me. Who? There's probably not one person other than maybe somebody, not saying that that's whatever. It's just when you sitting there.
Well, on top of that, who don't want to play for the home team too? Like, who would want to play for the hometown team? That's just like a dream. You dreamed as a kid.
You want to play for your hometown team, or you want to play for somewhere you went to college, or you want to play for a dope coach, or you want to play in a dope city. That's just how it is. It's like, there's nobody saying that they want to get drafted to the Buffalo Bills. Nothing against Buffalo Bills, but like
Browns.
Right. Nobody is sitting there hoping that they get drafted to those teams, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you get drafted, yeah, you embrace it. You go and you do what you got to do, right? But for me, that's how it was. I had no thoughts of coming to Detroit. That was not on my mind. But Detroit was the first team that reached out to me that, like, wanted me. Like, hey, we want you. They was the first team when, as soon as they had the little tampering window that they do, you know what I'm saying, couple 48 hours or whatever early. As soon as the window opened up, Detroit hit my agent. As soon as it opened up. And they was like, we want to get him out. And I had other teams that, you know, they wanted me to come on visit. They wanted me to sign, but they had like a offensive lineman that they was like, that's my first priority. If we get this offensive lineman, then we can only offer you this much money. If we don't get the offensive lineman, then we can offer you that much money. And I never felt like
They're straightforward like that in negotiations. They'll tell you, like,
well, that's what my agent stuff. That's what my agent was telling me.
I got you. Sorry.
And so I never really wanted to be a second option like that. I didn't really care. I was just like, nah, I'm not finna sit around and wait for you to be like, hey, well, we couldn't get who we wanted, so we're gonna settle for you and not bump that. I would rather go with somebody who believe in me and they want me. And that's kind of how it was. And so that's what Detroit did. Even when I went on my visit out there, man, there was some crazy stuff happened, man, that I still, to this day, I'm like, bro, I still don't know how I signed. Because
wait, what happened?
It was some crazy. There's some stuff I'd rather not say, but
oh man,
nothing to do with the team. Just some stuff in the city. That's at the hotel that I was in, man. Like, I was witnessing. Oh, okay. I was witnessing something was going on in the room right next to mine. And it was not good. I'm going to say that much. I'm talking about, it was to the point to where, you know, like I said, I'm coming to Detroit and all I've heard was stories, right?
Mm.
I'm literally in my room and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to lay on the floor because if they get to shooting, I don't want to be in the bed and get hit. Like, it was like
that.
Yeah. Oh, it was man and woman. So it was definitely domestic. It was crazy. I was just like, and like I said, this is my first time in Detroit. Like, I'm freaked out. I'm like, oh snap, it's real out here, bro. Like, what?
Yeah.
Laying on the floor, like, oh no, like, man, what do I do? I call the police. Like, what is going
you on the ground?
Yeah. And I was like, wow, bro. So yeah, man. So it was some crazy stuff that happened, but at the end of the day, man, I just got to thinking, you know, about who I was as a player, what I wanted to be as a player, and, you know, what I stood for. And I was like, you know what? if anybody can try to turn something around, I felt like it was me. And that was, Mark May. He was like, hey, we want to try to change the culture around here. And, he was like, we want to get you, we want to get Reggie. We trying to get guys in to help change the culture. And I was like, all right, so that's why I did it. And that was probably one of my biggest, the biggest decisions of my career, and probably one of the best decisions of my career, because it helped me grow as a person, helped me grow as a player, gave me an opportunity to show that I could play, and also gave me an opportunity to help try to change an organization. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And for me, that was important. Winning Super Bowls and stuff is always important, but everybody's not going to win a Super Bowl. So for me, it was like, you know what? I want to try to leave a legacy. I want to leave a mark. I want to try to change a culture. I want to try to do something like that, because, for me, if I would have left there in 2018 and the Lions won a Super Bowl in 2018 or 20 or whatever, I still would feel like, man,
that's part of that.
I know I wasn't playing and out there on the field, but I felt like I had a part in that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those guys, I feel like some of the things that we done, some of the things that we were able to do, because it's kind of how it was for my high school, man. Like, I was there and we was building, we was getting, getting for ourselves. And then a couple years after I left, they went to state, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you know what? We didn't get to go to state, but the foundation that we laid, the culture that we brought, they were able to carry it on, and they went to state. So it felt good to me. And so that was just kind of how I felt about Detroit, man. And I got an opportunity to make plays, man. And, I made them, and that's the cool part about it, man. It's the cool part about it. I made them, and the fans loved it. It was fun, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. I had a blast playing for Detroit, man. I had a blast.
It's dope to hear you say that too, because as a fan, I was like probably 18 when you and Reggie came, but like I built my credit off of my Lions season tickets. I had bought like my aunt's like used car with a credit union loan or whatever, and the lady's like, you could turn this to a credit card, and I was like, and obviously I'm a a sports fan. I'm like, can I buy season tickets with that credit card? She was like, yeah. Right. I was like, bet. I got the season tickets. You and Reggie came, and it truly did feel like a culture change, because you and Reggie came. Joik was there, man. Yeah. It was wild, man. You guys were balling out, man. Especially you for sure.
Yeah, man. And that's the thing, bro. That's how you get guys. When you get some guys that come in and believe and they play well. We had drafted Slay. Slay starts playing well. We had Rasheem Mathis. He was balling. We still had Sue. So we just had guys, man, and we were able to supplement some guys. And I mean, Coach Caldwell came in, man, and Coach Caldwell was real big on changing the culture, and he was real big for me just because the way I was as a person, the way I believed, it was like Coach Caldwell was like the same exact way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He built his program around respect and hard work, and that's kind of what I believed in. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't one of those type of coaches that was going to punish the whole team because of one bad apple. He's like, no, I'm going to treat you like men. You should act like men. If you can't act like a man, then I'm going to get you out of here. I'm not going to punish the other 53 guys because you can't act or you can't behave. If you can't behave, then I'm just going to get you out of here and find somebody else. I'm going to hold everybody accountable. If you were late, you're late, because when I first got there were times where certain guys would do things and wouldn't even get in trouble, even get talked about. And then a young guy would do something and they'll get scolded in front of the whole team. And I was just like, that's whack to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how you build a winning culture. Everybody should be held to the same standard. You know what I'm saying? If you're late, you're late. I don't care if you Matthew Stafford. I don't care if you the punter or if you're late, you're late. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So Coach Caldwell was real big in that. And he treated guys like men. He listened to us. We worked. He was that type of guy that, like I said, he made you feel bad if you felt bad if you didn't
give him your
work or give you, what I'm saying? He was like that because you felt like, dang, man, I let coach down, man. He took care of us, man. Like, heck, man, I let coach down, man. I got to get back on my job. Right. Yeah. He was real big on that, man. So I actually want to get Coach Caldwell on my show, man.
That'd be
I want
dope.
to get Coach Caldwell on my show, man. And not to talk about, and like I say, I tell people all the time, like, you know, I play for Detroit, and that's where a lot of my fans are. But I don't want my channel to be like a Detroit. It's just football. You know what I'm saying? So if people don't like Coach Caldwell, don't tune in. But we're just talking football. We're talking life. We're talking lessons. You know.
I definitely hear from Coach Caldwell. He sounds he can kick some game, like for real, like some wisdom.
Yeah, Coach Caldwell got some stories, man. He got some.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna hit
too, like a whole different time. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's
Bro.
like survive that, be successful as a black man too. Is
and
like
Coach Caldwell was a DB.
what?
Makes sense. Yeah.
I didn't know that. How tall is he?
Yeah. He's probably 6 foot, 6'1".
Okay. All right.
I think he's a little taller than me.
Coach Caldwell,
Coach Caldwell, yeah.
I wonder how he was as a player because he's so calm, his demeanor, everything.
Man, Coach Caldwell is a G, man. I'm telling you, Coach Caldwell would be nice, man. I'm gonna hit him up, man, because somebody told me today that he was actually doing a podcast. So if he's doing a podcast, I got to get him on the show.
For sure, man.
I got to get him on the show, man. It'd be fun.
I'm trying to picture him like back in the day talking trash. Like what kind of stuff would come out of his mouth? Because like the slang back then was so different too, man.
Right. Yeah, man. It'd be funny, man. Coach Caldwell has something in it now. Like I say, he has something in it, man. But it was a respect thing, man. He even when he got mad, he still talked to you with respect. And that I think that's what the players like the most, man, is, you know, he never treated us like we were animals or just like we were kids, or, you know, he talked to us like men. You know, you want to act like a man, I'm going to treat you like a man. If you don't want to act like a man and be treated like a man, then I'll find somebody else that does. And I think that was huge.
Were you there when they brought in Patricia?
Yeah, I was there.
Was that frustrating to have felt like you built a little bit of a culture under Caldwell, then them kind of just switch regimes like that? It sounded like he was something totally different from some of the stories coming out.
Yeah, he was definitely totally different. You know what I'm saying? He was totally different. And, you know, and like I say, I don't like, you know, bashing Patricia because he's a good coach. You know, he's a good coach. He's smart. I just kind of felt like personally his perspective was wrong. He came in my opinion, exactly with the mentality that I felt like maybe a lot of the world thinks of Detroit. You know, he came in and felt like everything in Detroit was awful, all the players, all the facility, I got to change the culture. I got to change everything. It's a losing mentality. And it's like, that wasn't the culture.
That's what's kind of asking too, because like you guys, I felt like you guys built something. You know what I'm saying? Like I know the losing seasons there, but like you guys, we didn't win nothing before. You know what I'm saying? Before you and Reggie and them came, like we weren't doing nothing. We were at least hitting the playoffs every once in a while, had some exciting games.
Yeah, I mean, and like out of my first year there, I was with Swartz and we didn't do anything. Coach Caldwell's first year, we made the playoffs, 10-6. We had a daggone championship game against Green Bay, the last game of the season in Green Bay, right? We lost. You know, we make the playoffs. We get beat by Dallas. It is what it is. We come back the next year. We start out awful. We was like 1-7. And then we were one game from making the playoffs that year. I remember that. You know, we had the Hail Mary against Green Bay.
That's a bad man.
You know, he is. You know what I'm saying? And then we come back the next year. We make the playoffs in 2016. We go 9-7. We had another championship game against Green Bay at the end of the season in Detroit this time. So we went from this team that wasn't even competing to now the NFL is scheduling us Sunday night primetime games against Green Bay in week 17, the winner take all.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we want to win those games and we need to win those games, but just the growth of the organization is like, hey, we're building something. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like what maybe the owners or whatever, I don't know, if they felt like there needed to be a change, it was like, okay, the culture is good. maybe we need somebody to get over that hump. We've lost to Green Bay a couple times in the championship game. We just can't get over that hump. Maybe we need somebody to get us over that hump, right?
Yeah.
Cool. But you don't need to bring somebody in to feel like they need to change the culture. Because the culture doesn't need changing. You just need somebody to come in and evaluate, okay, let's see what's going on. Why are they not getting over that hump? Okay, this is what I see. This is what I can do to get them over that hump. But when you come in and you just tear down the whole culture, and players are sitting there feeling like, what do you mean? Like, we've been really doing some good things around here, and you tell us we all trash. Okay, and now you have those type of situations. I know people are gonna sit there and say what they want to say about it, and they feel like, oh, you guys were settling, you guys were just being 9-7. I promise you. For one, there's a lot of teams out there that will hope to be 9-7, and to me, just playing in the league, the difference in 9-7 and 7-9 is 2 plays. The difference in 10-6 and 6-10 is 4 plays. You look at that year, that's last year in Detroit, right? We go 9-7, right? What if Golden catch against Atlanta is a touchdown? Now we're 10-6, right? We're 10-6.
Yeah.
The difference, right?
Yeah.
It just the difference in those records are so small. It's just one play here or there. You look at the Hail Mary, right? You go from being 7-9, say the Hail Mary doesn't happen against Green Bay, and now you're looking at 8-8, 9-7, and you're making the playoffs.
Wasn't there some kind of like face mask call in that game too? They gave him a second chance for the Hail Mary.
Well, that was they called it a Hail Mary. I mean, they called it a face mask on DT Devin Taylor when it wasn't a face mask, and gave they got another shot at it, move him up 15 yards.
Yeah, how does that stuff feel? Because you also had that happen in Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, if when you play there enough, you play there long enough, you start to feel like those things are just happening to us as Lions players, right? The respect that we have as an organization. You know what I'm saying? We had plenty of plays. We had the one in Dallas. We had the one in Seattle when they punched the ball out. Calvin Johnson getting ready to score. They punched the ball out and they slapped the ball out the back of the end zone. You can't slap the ball out the back of the end zone, but they did it. No penalty is called. We lose that game. You had the Hail Mary. They call it a face mask. There's no face mask. Just a bunch of different things, that happens. And as a fan base, you start to feel like, man, the refs are always against us. You know what I'm saying? And as players, you start to feel the same way because it's like, man, there's no respect for the Detroit Lions in across the league. Because if this was the Dallas Cowboys, if this was the New England Patriots, they wouldn't make those same calls, or they would change certain things, or it would be different. You know what I'm saying? That's the culture of the Detroit city, and that's what the people believe. And honestly, I do feel like some of that stuff comes into play because at the end of the day, we got to all understand these referees are human as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not inhuman just because they're referees. They're human too. And they live in some part of the world, and they have a perception of Detroit. They grew up and they were fans of some team. What are they? They are fans of some team. They are fans of certain players. That's just
you don't get that job if you don't like football.
Right? Like it's just human. It's just natural. That's just the way it is. And so the stuff happens all the time, man. And you start when it goes against you as much as it did when I was in Detroit, you definitely start to feel like, things are working against you. And it's very frustrating.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear a player say it because I always didn't know if I was just like some crazy fan, you know what I'm saying? But I don't want to keep you too long. I'll shoot you some real quick fan questions. Is that cool?
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay. Somebody wanted to know if you had a favorite quarterback that you like picking off.
Oh, I love picking up Drew Brees, man.
Drew Brees? Oh, man, you did have that one.
2.
Yeah.
I love picking up Drew, man. He's a great quarterback. I mean, he's one of the best quarterbacks I ever played against. You know what I'm saying? Respect his game so much. So when I get a chance to pick off Drew, man, it means a lot to me.
Is that as far as plays go, that one for the game winner, is that like top plays of your professional career for you, or?
Yeah, it'd be up in there. It'll be up there for sure. You know what I'm saying? Top 3. You know, I thought the pick 6 against Matt Ryan was, you know, even though we lost that game, that was a dope play when I think about what went into it. You know, I got a couple dope plays out there now.
Is it hard to pick? It's like picking between your kids. You just love them all.
Yeah, man, I love them all, man. I love them, man. You know, I feel like, you know, my time I intercepted a lot of the greats. I think all of them actually.
We got pictures.
I got all of them on the wall. I just got a bunch of footballs on the wall. You know, I got
super dope.
Freaking Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, Roethlisberger, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, freaking Joe Flacco, Jay Cutler plenty of times. You know, I got it's a lot, man.
As far as quarterbacks go, and this is a question actually selfishly for me, because I always have to debate with my boys. Obviously, kind of everybody does. But the Tom Brady, who you think him and Bill Belichick, was that just kind of like a relationship? They're both mutually beneficial to each other, or like is Tom Brady that guy without Bill Belichick? Like the hype on Tom Brady real, or is it kind of like mixed with the coach?
I mean, I think for one, they both benefited off each other. I think Tom is good. You know, I don't feel like you could play quarterback in this league for that many years and not be good. You know what I'm saying? I think Tom is good. I think he was in a great system. And I think they benefited off each other. Obviously Belichick showed when Tom got hurt that he can still go 11-5, you know, with Matt Castle. You know, even when Tom was suspended, you know, those first couple of games for the Deflategate stuff, I think they were still winning with Jacoby Brissett. You know what I'm saying? So he's shown that he can win without Tom. Tom just makes it better for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but I don't think no one has ever seen Tom win without Belichick. You know what I'm saying? We've seen Belichick win without Tom. We've never seen Tom win without Coach Belichick. So this year we'll actually get to see, you know.
Yeah, I'm excited.
What it is, you know.
They gave him a lot of pieces too. He's got a lot to work with over there too now.
Yeah, he got a lot. And I feel like the thing that Tom's gonna do is he's gonna bring as much of New England playbook and plays and all that stuff. He's gonna bring it to Tampa because that's what he's comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's not trying to learn a new playbook in year 20. He's been with the same stuff for 20 years. So that's what he's comfortable with. So he's putting in that stuff, I guarantee. You're going to see Tampa running the same stuff that New England ran, guarantee.
Yeah, I know. I see people saying like Bruce Arians' offense is like way complicated and stuff like that. But like you said, Tom has a recipe for success. He knows how he can win, you know?
Yeah, and Tom doesn't fit Bruce Arians' typical quarterback. You know, if you think back to what made Bruce Arians, I guess, offense and things like that very popular, you remember him being in Pittsburgh and they had Ben Roethlisberger and they had Antonio Brown and Mike Wallace and Emmanuel Sanders, all those fast guys, and they bombs over Baghdad, throwing the ball all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Then he goes to Indy and he got a big time quarterback, big arm, the young Andrew Luck, and he got T.Y. Hilton and Philip Dorsett and these guys that can run. Then he goes to Arizona. He got another big time quarterback, the guys that can throw the ball. Yeah, Fitzgerald was getting a little older, so he gets these fast guys. He go get John Brown. He go and draft. I can't think of another. He had another kid, guys that are fast and they throwing the ball deep down the field. That's one thing that you see from Bruce Arians' offense, right? So now you get to Tampa last year, you got Jameis Winston, you got Mike Evans, they bring in Chris Godwin, all those guys, and they're trying to throw the ball deep down the field. Tom Brady's not a deep ball thrower like that.
Yeah.
So why would you go and bring in Tom Brady?
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be interesting for sure.
Tom Brady gonna change the offense.
Yeah.
I guarantee you. They're gonna be more, possession, run the ball, play action, 12 personnel. Let's watch.
Yeah. Most skilled quarterback in the league that you played against, like just skill wise, he was like
most skilled quarterback. Ooh, that's a good one, man. Throwing the ball. I don't know if there's a better thrower in the league than Stafford, man. Stafford can throw, bro. He can throw that thing, man. Aaron Rodgers can throw it really, really good, man. Aaron Rodgers can throw. Aaron Rodgers can run. Well, he used to run a lot better, but Aaron Rodgers is a monster, man. A lot of those guys are just good, bro. I mean, the quarterbacks in this league are really good, man, and those guys can throw it. They can move it. They're smart. It'd be hard for me to put the most skilled quarterback, that I've played against. But I will say, when it comes to throwing, there's not a lot of guys that can just throw the ball better than Stafford.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. I don't want take too much of your time. Everybody else who's listening, who's checking this out right now, you need to check out the DB Room. Like I said, it's very, very informative. Also, like he said, the stories. If you want to hear like the background stories or guys how like again the mentality that kept them going through stuff, you got that. We need to name that show, man. I know.
Yeah, man.
Channel, yeah.
I'm I might put it out there and let the fans name it, man. Like, let's come up with a name for that show, or I might just think about it and talk to my wife and marketing people and come up with a name with it. But yeah, man, I just like saying, come over to the DB Room and chill with us, man. We got a lot of stuff going on. Just come over to the DB Room, man. Just come into the DB Room and we kicking it, we chilling. Like I said, man, I got some stuff that I'm working on, some more stuff. So stay tuned.
Yeah, man. Hey, you gotta get Coach Caldwell on too. That'd be dope.
I'm about to hit him right now. And see if I can get him on.
Hey, make sure you ask too what kind of trash he was talking. He was lining up back then.
I have to do some research, man. See if I can find some old clips of Coach Caldwell, man, to bring out to the show, man.
Yeah, YouTube wasn't a thing back then, man. Good luck.
I have him send me some. I know he got something somewhere.
Yeah.
Somebody got something.
Oh yeah, we're gonna need some pictures too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I really appreciate you coming on too.
Oh yeah, man. No problem, man. I love helping people, man. I love talking, man. I love putting good information out there, man, because people need to hear it, man. So appreciate you giving me the invite, man. And just stay tuned to the show, man. It's a lot of stuff going on. I'm finna try to start doing some shows, just talking to, like I said, I got the show where I talk to guys in the off-season mode about, their journey. But, now the players are back active, so I'm not trying to keep them for an hour. Their time is valuable and busy, and training camp, and it's weird and it's crazy. So I'm going to try to start doing some different shows, man, just, where I'm probably just live for, a little while, and just have different guys just kind of tap in, give me about 15, 20 minutes. Let's talk about training camp, what you're doing different. Talk to me about your, like, a day in the life of training camp for you, and, the new challenges with COVID and how people feeling, and, the opting out. Just kind of talk about some current stuff. So I'm working on that right now, man. So we'll see how I go, man.
Thanks, love. I appreciate you coming on, man.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
I'll see you.
Yes, sir. 3. I love this shit. So let me talk my shit. Okay, I'm good. Yeah. I know you see the clock, cause getting money is what we on. Ride and drop the top in the winter with the heat on. Bad yellow bitch, keep my passenger seat warm. Leg hanging out the window, you ain't got these on. Bitch holla, it is Louise. They cannot see me, they are like Stevie. I am bearing a ton like Leafy. I circle your house like BB. Colder than the Hebe, GBs, never give freebies. 75,000 for these bees. Shit, I can get 100,000 up in these jeans. Big step. tangerine. Got the engine straight shaking like a tambourine. Like a bitch with some lips like Angeline. No Jolie, holy God flow. I go where no other guy go. Fuck you, ho, I'm so 5-0. 4 I hope every snitch dies slow. Hip hop, that's my hoe, I know. She know I like it when don't want no dry hoe. Alright, bitch, I am D-boy, no decoy, and I will straight up destroy any boy, our man, and I prefer money. Them bitches are just reefer. We are your money, bitch, and I am the leader. He are currency, Mac, May, and D-Raw, and I just signed a chick named Nicki Minaj. And me, I'm still spitting like a retard, and these niggas soft, they should be rapping in leotards. Nigga, we in charge, baby, put me in charge, and I'm just murdering niggas free of charge. You dig? Just holler back, I see you, Sarge. I'm so motherfucking high, I can eat a star. Yeah, let me upgrade you. You may not be a model, but I can front page you. You know I'm nasty, excuse my behavior. Let me just taste you, we can fuck later. Sitting in the coupe, looking like a racer. Top peel back like the skin of a potato. Seat way back, listening to Anita Baker. Riding by myself, smoking weed by the acre. I let go gator, ain't nobody greater. Leave with some bullet holes the size of craters. You ain't heard the latest, we the F the greatest. Battle anybody, nigga, fuck over your favorite.